Did Eric Dickerson expose what took place with Shedeur Sanders in the draft? Let's talk about it, man. I mean, this is something we got to talk about because this is interesting. After the bumper, stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because I upload all the time. Now, Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame running back Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson, who's also worked in media before on Fox Sports and other places. Eric Dickerson, the Los Angeles Rams, SMU, Indianapolis Colts, the Pony Express. You know it. It's him, the Trans Am. It's Eric Dickerson, a dog, right? Someone who needs no introduction, but I gave it to you anyway. He went on a podcast and he's the first person to go on record to say that the NFL conspired against Shedeur Sanders and NFL owners kind of colluded together. He's the first one to actually go on record outside of just rumors and hearsay to say the league colluded against drafting Shedeur Sanders. Let me play you real audio of Eric Dickerson. This is making its rounds around social media of ED talking about what he heard from a high-ranking NFL official. Let's take a listen. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's take a listen to what ED had to say.
And I'll tell you this much here, what I heard from someone that's in the NFL, that the NFL told other, don't draft him, do not draft him. We're gonna make an example out of him.
So if you didn't hear, let me rewind it. He said, "This is what I heard from folks in the NFL. Don't draft him." Him being Shedeur Sanders. Let's listen to it again.
And I'll tell you this much here, what I heard from someone that's in the NFL, that the NFL told other, don't draft him, do not draft him. We're gonna make an example out of him. And this came from a very good source. And he said that, I won't say who, somebody called the Cleveland Browns and said, don't do that. Draft
really?
Him. Yep, draft him. Don't do that. Because they weren't gonna draft him either. They weren't gonna draft him. They were forced into drafting him because somebody made a call to them, said, you know, and I say, when I say this is a NFL side source for sure, you know, so this is not here. So look, one thing about it is, and I'll just say it, you know, they don't like when guys have brands, especially black players, you know, and that's mostly us with the brand, you know, some guys are flashy and all that kind of stuff. They don't like that. This kid, Fred, I don't think you knew this. He had already made $17 million from a car deal that he already signed. A car deal. Yeah.
So he gets into Shedeur Sanders, you know, deals, and, you know, we know he makes a ton of endorsements, a lot of money, NIL, all that stuff coming out of college. But it is the first person to actually go on record and say what a lot of people thought already. I mean, I don't know if you saw that tweet that I had saved already, but this was Chad Ochocinco, you know, kind of backing up ED. He says Eric Dickerson says what we all knew, and it's breaking news. So Chad is speaking once again with the internet, the conspiracy theories, all this stuff, but nobody was willing to go out on a limb and put this out there. No NFL reporter, no Albert Breer, no Shefty, no Jay Glazer, none of these people, none of all these big time NFL reporters. Nobody went out there and said this. ED is the first person, and you don't even have to be as big of a NFL reporter as those guys. You could have been a regular Joe or a regular NFL player. You could have been a Ryan Clark with a platform, or a Damian Woody, or a Brendan Marshall, or even a Chad. But none of these people went out there and said it. And Chad is just kind of, you know, he's kind of just saying yeah, we already knew this anyway. ED is just the first person to kind of tell you. And now all of a sudden y'all saying it's breaking news. Now, once again, this has been a common thought between a ton of people since the draft took place. But having Eric Dickerson go on record, putting his reputation and putting the NFL on blast is big. I'm not going to act like it ain't big. It is big. And here's the thing. When Shedeur went in the 5th round, did I think something weird was happening? Abso-freaking-lutely. You can go check the tape. If Shedeur would have went the 2nd round, I'd have been like, justifiable, I guess. But I always thought Shedeur Sanders was a first round talent. I thought he would have been in the contention for the number 1 overall pick with Cam Ward. I thought Cam Ward was a little bit better of a prospect, but I thought Shedeur was better than Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, all those dudes drafted ahead of him. He's way better than those guys. He was better in college at every step of the way. You put him on Oregon, they win more games. You put him on Alabama, they're in the playoff. You put him on, those teams that Ole Miss, they make the playoff. Like those teams that those other guys that got drafted ahead of him, you put him on my Louisville Cardinals, I think you have a better season than what you did with Tyler Shuck. It's just the truth. And so having ED come out here and say this, like I said, it's massive. And it doesn't really change anything in the grand scheme of things because the Shedeur supporters believe this the whole entire time. All this does, I'm not even necessarily sure if this even helps Shedeur. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not mad at the fact that Edie put it out there, but because they're, once again, I feel like the Browns in the NFL in general are looking for reasons to treat Shedeur a certain kind of way, not a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in like a positive aspect. They're looking for reasons to either discredit Shedeur, to make it seem like he's not as good of a player as he really is. I don't know. It just seems like something is up there, and that is why I'm not even sure if I even like if this is a good thing for Shedeur in the long term as far as Edie putting this out there. Now, is it believable? Now let's just think about this. Is it believable that a multi-billion-dollar organization with 32 other multi-billion-dollar organizations, the NFL and the NFL teams, could have conspired to send a message to a guy that during the pre-draft process kind of went about it the wrong way? Let's just call it what it is. He went about it the wrong way. He was interviewing teams. This is the word that came out. He was interviewing teams. There was the report that he went into the Giants meeting with his headphones on and an entourage. I don't know if I always believe all of that stuff, but I do believe some of it. I think that if there is smoke, there is fire. And obviously the way that Deion was talking, his father was talking pre-draft and how they handled the pre-draft process. Could there have been collusion between the teams to send a message to the guy that approached the pre-draft process the wrong way? Yeah, 100%. I do believe multi-billionaires, 32 billionaires could have came together and did that. Absolutely. Especially when you get to the second and third and fourth rounds and the Raiders don't take them with Tom Brady. Second, third, and fourth rounds, fifth rounds. And the Cowboys with Jerry Jones don't take them. Right, just for the simple fact that he's Shedeur Sanders and it's Jerry Jones. And you see what's happening with Michael Parsons. He loves the spotlight. He loves the attention. He loves Deion. I just watched the Cowboys documentary. Jerry loves Deion. He made Deion the highest paid player in 1994. Right, like he made it like the highest paid quarterback in the history of the league. $13 million signing bonus, $35 million contract. It was the highest paid. He was higher paid than Emmett, than Michael Irvin. Only person that was more paid than him on the Cowboys was Troy. And Deion was a corner. And that guy didn't take his son when he was available in the second or third or fourth or fifth rounds. So do I believe that there could have been some collusion between the NFL, the entity, and the 32 teams in the league? Absolutely, I do. Like, yes, I do believe that could have happened. I'm not saying it did happen, but ED is saying it. And he's citing a source. He's saying a source inside the league. Now, this ain't, once again, a regular Joe Schmo saying this. This is Eric freaking Dickerson, Hall of Famer. Eric Dickerson, College Football Hall of Famer. Eric Dickerson, Rams, Colts. Eric freaking Dickerson saying this. Not JeffLightsYJr. Not you. It's Eric Dickerson. A guy who is non-controversial. It's not like Eric Dickerson goes out and makes headlines every day or every week or every year. Like, no, it's not like Eric Dickerson goes out and seeks attention. That's the other thing. Consider who it's coming from. This was coming from like Antonio Brown or something. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, AB's going to be a Hall of Famer, but man, it's AB. Right? Like, does AB really have sources? CT, ESPN, are we really going to trust that? AB, kind of on the Kanye spectrum. AB, are we really going to trust that? Okay, I get that. This is Eric Dickerson. This guy don't do this. This guy is not a media person. He's not an attention person. And he's going on record saying this. And he's saying it casually. And then he gives you, as I cut it off, he gives you the reasons why this type of thing can happen in the league. Because those owners, that league, when you come in with that brash, with that type of bravado, and to them, not that type of talent, because that's the thing. Transcendent talent can get past all of that. Like the brashness and the bravado, even at the quarterback position. If you're a transcendent talent, they'll look past all that stuff. They didn't see that type of talent in Shedeur, right? They saw more of a late first. They probably, most of them had a late first, early second round grade on Shedeur. But when he came in with that brashness and that bravado, as if his name was Deion Sanders and not Shedeur Sanders, and allegedly those pre-draft meetings where he wasn't taking it serious and more so doing the interviewing of the teams as opposed to allowing the teams to interview him, do I think then they could have came together and worked against him? Absolutely, I do. I 100% do. And I think that's what may have taken place. And that's now what Eric Dickerson is saying that took place. And to have a Pro Football Hall of Famer talking out against the Pro Football League, Professional Football League, the NFL, in this manner is something worth noting. It is something worth noting. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Eric Dickerson says the NFL plotted and colluded against Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft. My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.